So if people jump in, they could leave us some cool comments. Hey, everyone. Welcome to their second edition of Let's Chat Into the Spider-Verse. We're gearing up for our big event on the 29th with See You Live. We're going to be doing the Let's Chat Birthday Bash. We're going to be watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's going to be a interactive, fun watch party that I think I just talked to them today. I think we only have about 30 tickets left available, so sign up while you can.
Nice.
We are the... thank you so much. So we're trying to gear up to it. So we're kind of trying to play with the format and learn a little bit more myself, because I'm kind of a geezer when it comes to these things. So I was trying to learn how to use YouTube Live. So thank you guys for joining us. And we're going to get right to it. So Bree, this is our first time hosting anything together since we've been working together. So this is kind of cool.
Yeah, you were like 15 minutes ago. Hey, you want to do this? Sure, whatever. This is how we roll.
Is that how you're, Chuck and Brad, is that your setup too? Like 20 minutes before, like, hey, do you want to do this kind of important thing?
They're more organized.
I mean, I come from an improv background, so I'm okay with that. But Chuck comes from a background where he wants quality in our performances. And he's like, no, we have to actually work at these things in order to get them good. And I'm like, I'll be good, but in a different way.
We're pretty good at scheduling.
It definitely shows too. Because you guys have, Chuck and Brad, we have, the host of the Chuck and Brad podcast. I know you both do a million things. I want to get to as many of them as we definitely can. But you've been doing some video work with your podcast too, and like even your live shows. Like even like listening to your podcast, like I've done it long enough where I'm kind of a snob when I listen to someone's. But when I listen to a Chuck and Brad episode, I'm like, they put work into this, and you can tell. But I think that's what keeps people coming back. Yeah, like when
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, it's definitely clear. I mean, especially your most recent. I guess your miniseries, the Tell 'em Steve Dave, like it really could tell you put in the work.
Yeah, that was. It's funny because we've been doing it for a long time. Like we're up to like this week will be episode 480. So we've been doing the podcast for a long time.
And a decade already.
Yeah, we've passed a decade. We're coming up on year 12 in January. Is that right?
Yeah, that'll be our 12th anniversary. I don't know what I'm supposed to get you for that year, but.
Oh, I know.
That was it.
It's silicone. That's the silicone year. So anything you can think of.
Because this is hitting 7, hence the whole birthday bash, which I'm still pretty surprised by. But that means you guys
congratulations.
Are 4 years still before. And then it's funny that we were both. I know. Listen, we're buds in real life, and we've been on the show. But we were both doing a podcast in Rhode Island within not very far from each other. We're probably within 20 minutes of each other. And probably for multiple years without us ever even knowing of each other until Oren had wrote up a little something about podcasting in Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. And just like Spider-Verse, it was just like, there's more of us? I had no idea, because that's how odd the community, it's grown so much.
Well, I think that there probably used to be more difficult for people to have this kind of show, where it's either live streaming or even the equipment that you'd need to have a podcast. I think it was more difficult, even 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It was just harder. And now it's so much easier. And I think there's a lot more consumer products that will facilitate that I think that back then it was just rare. It was rare to even expect other people to be doing a podcast. When we started, we honestly were able to start because I had so much equipment from my band, Senior Discount, that we had microphones, we had an interface or the mixing board, so we knew how to record music, and we turned that into, let's record a podcast. But now I think that all that equipment exists for podcasters, which wasn't a thing when we started.
Yeah. Now, for someone not listening, what would you say separates Chuck and Brad's podcast from just two guys on a microphone talking about random shit? Because we all kind of secretly hate those podcasts. It very well could have been that, but it's not. I mean, it is 100% not.
Well, I think that with Brad, so Brad has an improv background, and I have a background in the band. Plus, we have background in filmmaking and comedy writing. And because we gravitate towards that type of stuff, I think that we have this built-in legitimacy because we have to produce all that stuff too. Yeah. So we understand the behind the scenes of it. We understand the kind of what it takes to get that stuff done. I kind of don't like when people criticize from their computer chair. saying like this song sucks or this movie sucks and blah blah blah. I'm like, go do something. I almost think that you shouldn't be allowed to say something sucks unless you've tried to do it before.
Very Kevin Smith of you.
And I think that because we have all these creative endeavors and we've really put our all into them, it kind of puts us in a different spot. Plus, like, you know, any egomaniac, like, I think that my opinions are great and I'm smart and I'm fun and I'm funny. You have to believe that if you're doing a podcast, right? Even if it's not true.
Absolutely. Oh, it is true. It's like a captain of a ship.
Yeah.
You're always right.
And
that's such a part too. You know, you know the hard work that goes into it. You know, it's not just, I'm just going to record real fast on my laptop and call it a podcast. There's so much behind the scenes work that happens with like shows and movies and improv. And my husband works at a theater, and we're come from a whole like theater family, so we see all the hard work and the stagehands and everything that goes. It's ridiculous, and that absolutely sets you apart.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
I think Brad and I were looking at each other. I was like, or on the other side of, well, maybe not now, but earlier I was much more of a let's just jump on and see what happens. Yeah. And then like, it takes work.
Did you get stressed out, Chad? Yeah. I need to play it, man.
I think we overlap in some areas, but not every area. So it's not just the same opinion repeated slightly differently. We're for a while we were called Agreeing to Disagree, the Chuck and Brad podcast, but then we realized we agreed quite a bit, not 100%, but we definitely bring our own unique personalities to it. That again, there's enough overlap that it's not just bickering, and there's enough disconnect that it's not just agreeing. So that I think is positive. And also, Chuck talked about we don't want to be the type of critics or whatever that just say this sucks. We want things to be good. We want to like things. And I think that is missing from a lot of podcasts. A lot of podcasts are going to just poke at the negatives or just say this thing wasn't good and kind of either not follow up with why or not try and make it better. We have a couple episodes, Chuck and Brad fix X-Men Days of Future Past, and where we talk about the flaws of the movie and what could have been done to make it a better film.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like just literally everything. I think. I don't even remember. I saw it.
I think Days of Future Past is really good, and what frustrated me is that there was just a couple parts that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just like take those parts and fix them.
I'm looking forward to that. Well, one thing you do also do like live events as well, like with the Chuck and Brad show. And I went to, I think you did, was it your 400th episode? But even though it wasn't your 400th podcast episode or whatever at the Comedy Connection. And I remember talking afterwards, I was like, you guys have a real, there's a real like vaudevillian aspect to your comedy, like the straight man, like kind of thing going, like, and then I just had recently watched the Miss Maisel when they did the whole thing in the Catskills, and it just made me like think more of you guys. Like you guys have that a little bit of like this like old timey comedy too, but it's modern and hilarious, but which I absolutely love as a comedy nerd. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's classic. Like it's the best.
I hope that. I love simple jokes. I think I talked to Brad the other day, and I was like, oh, if we did a thing on stage where you wrote a letter to Penthouse and you wrote a birthday card to your mom and you gave them both to me to send out, and the joke is just that they mix them up and that's it. Like, that's the whole joke. And I love stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
Very Simpsons-esque too.
Yeah, it's just very old school, very vaudevillian. Yeah, definitely. I love simple jokes that are straightforward like that.
I think I think one of the things we like about comedy is that every character has a blind spot, and both of us are willing to have just the dumbest blind spots possible. Mm-hmm. We are willing to show ass, for lack of a better term, in order to get the laugh. And I think a lot of people are less secure in who they are than we are when we're on stage and say, oh, I don't want to do this because it will make me look stupid or it will embarrass me. And we're like, no, that's fine. We'll talk about all the times we cried. Like, no big deal.
I'm crying right now.
Raw. Love it.
We don't put that in our stage show, but it is in our podcast.
Lots of tears every episode.
And
you guys also have
happy tears.
I know your show's not like specifically interview based, but you do have interviews with some really cool people. So I just noticed your name says Cooler Than Brad.
I just changed it.
Oh, handsomer than Chuck. I didn't even know you could. How did you do that? See, no, I have to focus. You guys have focus.
Yeah,
I'm not changing it myself. I think they're changing it in the site. I don't know how to.
What does that mean?
Oh my goodness, handsomer. I want to tell everyone an answer which kind of explained Chuck and Brad very well. Kevin Smith was doing the this is because you guys did it, but we did the Reboot Roadshow came through Providence at the Columbus Theater. Victoria and I were going. On the way there, poor Victoria got sick, about to throw up. I was like, just drop me off, and I'll figure my way home. But I also had taken a fuck ton of edibles, but I was by myself at the theater, and and so on the other side of the theater, all of a sudden I get a text message, and it was a picture of me just sitting there staring at my phone from across the theater from Chuck and Brad.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm just sitting in an empty theater being like, all right, no one knows I'm here. Just got to keep it together. We're going to have a nice movie. Mm-hmm. And then it was, oh my God, it was one of those, it was so funny.
Yeah, but the picture, I forgot what I wrote. What did I write under the picture?
It was look at this fucking asshole or something. And it really took me a long time to figure it out.
It was more clever than that, but it was really funny. By the way, you know what's about today?
I think there was a series of texts leading up. Oh, sorry.
Yes, there was a serious text leading up to it. I was going to say, your podcast name is Let's Chat with Chris Revel.
Yeah.
You know what your podcast name should have been?
Let's Chat with Brie.
Like Revolution.
I'm more interesting than Chris.
Yeah.
Like Revolution. That would be so good. Or something like that.
The guy I started it with.
Just more clever.
The only thing that he left behind besides his equipment was the name. And for some reason, when he left, I wanted to. And that was the only name we could agree on. And I had so many puns on my last name. I don't know why. I had the chance a few times, and I think it was just more of I don't know how to spell that.
Our podcast name is fucking dog shit. The Chuck and Brad podcast, it's the worst name in the whole world.
It's the Green Day podcast.
No, it's not. Green Day is fine. That's a real name. Our name is the Chuck and Brad podcast.
No,
couldn't be more
Green Day is
uninteresting.
a terrible name.
But you know what our podcast should have been called? CB Radio.
Yep.
Ooh.
Isn't that good, Chuck, Brad?
That just flows off, Let's
do a rebrand.
CB Radio. It makes so much sense.
12 years in, let's rebrand the thing that everyone knows is for.
Yeah.
If we ever get you guys have to do your podcast for a big network, I think maybe we should start over from episode 1 and call it CB Radio and just do the same podcast. We could tell all our old stories again.
Oh yeah, no one will know.
Yeah, the same stories.
I'll do pretty much a lot of stuff for if someone wants to buy us, even if it's I don't know, Halliburton comes along, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Poor Brie. We should probably discuss this.
Talk to me, Chris.
I love the idea that Halliburton is podcast shopping.
Yeah, I love that. Dick Cheney's where could we really just spread the oil company wealth? That podcast industry, we know that will do the trick. But you guys have some really great guests. I know I love too when you have when you guys have Ray Harrington come on because Brad and Ray kind of team up a little and then they kind of fight with you, Chuck, and it cracks me up to no end.
I'd love to fucking knock that guy out.
Funny too, and you had some great musicians on too. One of my favorite episodes you guys did was with Dave McWayne of Big D and the Kids Table because that's a man that loomed so large in my heart for years growing up with Big D. I think that was the only time I've ever heard him talk outside of the times I've met him and briefly, and then who else? Well, who are your other guests that you like to plug? I mean, I know your panels with the Office people were really fun too.
Yeah. So the mini series we're doing now is kind of revolving around the guys from the show Comic Book Men. A bunch of them have a podcast called Tell 'em Steve Dave. So I'm going to Jersey and doing sit down one-on-one podcasts with the guys in Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. And so far I've gotten Walt, Get-em, Brian, Ming, Mike, and 2 of those are out right now. They're still coming out, chuckandbradpodcast.com. And those are they're probably getting the biggest response from any interviews we've ever done. The amount of tweets and the Reddit threads and Instagram and stuff like that. The engagement has been crazy. And I'll say this. I'm not supposed to say this, but
do we discover a whole new type of comedy? This is very Whose Line Is It Anyway with you two. This is so funny. I love this. Chuck and Brad
Anyway, I'm not supposed to say anything, I don't think, but I think that that mini series I'm doing is gonna be is being taken by a larger entity, and I'm gonna be doing it for a different podcast in the near future. But
if it wasn't, I was going to be like, you're dropping the ball if you're not trust to someone, because this is brilliant and some of the best work you guys have done.
yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm really proud of those. The band stuff has been great. I had to I had to moderate a panel with Christina Ricci in front of like a live audience. We released that as a podcast.
Fun.
And I was really happy with the way that came out. We did the Office podcast, obviously, with the guys who played Kevin and Stanley. The Big D one was great. The Real Big Fish one we did was great.
Who's the Jackass guy?
Yeah, Jeff Tremaine, the director of Jackass. That was fun because we got to go to Tribeca.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sat in a real publicity room and did the interview and went to a screening and went to an after party. It was a whole thing.
At least for the foreseeable future, that will not be happening.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Glad you got to do that.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. And then I mean, I know so Chuck, I know you also work for the original Chris Ruffle, not the clone. I know you, Chuck. I know you do music as well, and you actually work for Tell 'em Steve Dave. And then Brad, I know you're more like me, where you have like a day job. I don't know how much I can talk about that on air, but you're also a comedian as well. So you guys kind of hitting at all angles. But I think I'm sure you probably heard this from your fan base at some level. But like the thing about like the Chuck and Brad show is cool. At the end of it, it is kind of like, like in a Judd Apatow movie, it's all like really funny dick and fart jokes. But at the end of the day, there's like a couple heartful moments. Like, we actually love each other. That's kind of what your show is. Like, I remember like one of the episodes you were talking about like going to Disney World with your family, and like I was like, why am I like getting so invested in this?
I know it was a good one. Multiple people wrote me about that, and they were like, I teared up at the end of that episode when you were talking about your relationship with your grandparents and how you had to push them all around, like, Magic Kingdom and Epcot and stuff. I like the cat.
This is Belle. This is the good cat. The other one is elsewhere. And Brad, how long have you been doing comedy for? Like a while, right?
Yeah, I did it. I took classes in Chicago in the late '90s and then and the early 2000s, and it wasn't good. I wasn't confident in who I was as a performer or person, and then stopped doing improv for 4 years. Went to grad school, came out of grad school, and all my interviews I was saying, my hobby is improv, and finally somebody called me on it. They're like, oh, there's this improv group. Do you want to go audition with me? And I was like, yes. And they bailed, and I went and auditioned and met some people, and through those people met Chuck. And I've been doing improv in the area here for, since 2007, July 2007.
That's awesome. That is incredible. Because I mean, I've struggled with anxiety and all those types of things in my life, and it's so funny to me when you meet people who can get on stage and make people laugh. Like I can do a podcast on a computer; it doesn't bother me. In person's fun, but like getting on stage, that's different. That's something. It's cool. I give you guys credit for doing that.
I appreciate it, man. I love doing this stuff.
It's too fun.
I think I get way more nervous for scripted stuff than I do for improv, because with improv, I think there's a different expectation, and the audience is with you. And with scripted stuff, we really want to hit what we wrote. We want to do great. And so I'm always nervous about, am I going to botch the first line or forget a prop or whatever? And we've made it through every show we've done.
That's fun, and you can drive it. You can bring in life experience and make it more real for people to relate to with improv. That's cool.
So speaking of Ray Harrington, tell us about Independent.
Yeah, so there's a comedian around here, real piece of shit. His name is Ray Harrington, and he's from. I like this little pop-up thing. That's cool.
Hi, Victoria.
I don't know who that is. Do you?
This is my ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
we dated probably 2 months ago, just for like a week. And so Ray Harrington's a comedian from around here. He's really funny, very talented.
He was on Conan.
He said he was on Conan. He said he thinks of himself as the top dog in this area, and he's great. And we became friends a couple years ago, and he shot this 2-episode pilot about documentary filmmakers that was kind of a mockumentary, like the style of The Office. And he saw my work with Tell 'em Steve Dave, and he was like, "Oh, would you want to work on this as well?" And so I became the editor on Independent, and we had to break some story stuff and a lot of work on it for the past couple of years. And we brought it to a couple of film festivals. And we decided to release it independently, like right now during the quarantine. So it's up at undependentshow.com, and we cut it into 6 episodes of a web series. They're each between like 7 to 10 minutes long. And I love it. I think it's the most professional thing I've ever worked on. It's the most polished thing I've ever worked on. I love my work on it. Ray doesn't like to give me a lot of credit for the work on it. I think that he thinks that I don't have enough cool points. He doesn't think I'm a cool guy. So he only wants to like tag like people he thinks are cool that will lift him up and help his stature.
Damn it, Ray.
But he doesn't think I'm cool enough, and he's really insecure, and he's ugly, and it's a great show though. Undependentshow.com. Yeah, he's the worst guy I ever met.
His Conan set was pretty, but I thought it was great. But everyone else hated it.
Oh, he's funny. Have you seen Ninja Turtles 2 with Super Shredder?
Okay.
Yeah, he's a bigger piece of shit than Super Shredder. But undependentshow.com for Undependent is really, really funny, and it's really, really good. He's great in it. He did a great job working on it. You don't have to be a good person to create good art, as we know from Bill Cosby and Michael Jackson and now Ray Harrington.
You know, what we like to say at this show is like find the people who are the worst pieces of garbage and then support them.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
Find the Louis C.K.'s and the Bill Cosby and the Jeffrey Epsteins of the world. And
Brad said Louis C.K. didn't do anything wrong, and he just is like everybody.
No, that's not. Oh my god. Well, he'll probably never hear this. I have a fun fact. I one time I called John Lasseter a pedophile and made a Woody Allen joke with Griffin Newman's episode, and he politely asked me to cut that part out because I had not realized. Well, he had been dragged on Twitter for being in a Woody Allen movie and then like giving the money to Rain, and he was super nice and cool about it. I was like,
wow.
But it was that moment you're like, oh, people who have more than me to lose by doing a podcast because I can say this and it's like whatever.
Right.
He actually has a career. I was like,
No, I know. Yeah, when I do a lot of the work on the Tell 'em Steve Dave stuff, and one of the people that I work with is Quinn from Practical Jokers, and so Walt, who is kind of the person that approves my work, he has me cut out a ton of stuff that they say that I think is actually pretty inoffensive, but I think he's just trying to be careful. You know what I mean?
I can't even imagine being at that. I mean, like, we probably couldn't get away with R. Ray Killington. Oh, the Ski Mountain in Vermont, R. Ray Killington. I love that place. Mount R. Ray Killington. Oh, yes. My God. If Ray ever sees this. Ray, we've never met, but we're big fans. And if you still like us, come on the show.
Ray, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So let's... before I do anything, I want to also shout out Chuck, your wonderful girlfriend did my photo shoot for my headshots.
Oh, they turned out so nice.
I heard they look great.
Fucking talent because I'm sure, I don't know, she told, at least my perception of it, I remember being like this the whole time. Like really not sure what to do and terrified, and they came out great.
Don't act natural.
Let me give you a quick jab. I think that those pictures came out really good, and I was really surprised because like whenever you take a picture, you make the weirdest fucking face. I can't even do it. Let me try to do it.
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, it's like you're always trying to impress, like trying to make your brother laugh, like when you're 6. It never goes away.
It's almost like
poor Gina. She had to work hard. She'd be like, "All right, but try that where you're, maybe try moving and relaxing and smiling." And
whenever you take a picture, it's like someone just said to you, "Okay, everyone, frozen in fear." That's how you react.
It's like
my God, for Chris.
No, it's like I just like it's like fuck. Ray Harrington's talents in the house. So what do I do? I don't know him. I don't know if I should say. Well, we'll survive.
So funny.
I have to say she's very talented. And I was very like I don't know what to do at all.
She said you were great. She said you were very.
What do
great.
I do with my hands?
It's like it's do you ever see that 30 Rock episode when they teach Alec Baldwin how to act and he just like can't figure it out?
No, yeah.
Oh, it was totally Rebels headshots.
She said you did great. She said you were awesome.
Whew. You like that? We're all here fishing for compliments.
Gina's very forgiving, and she's used to having
deleted
to work
a lot
with
of
people.
them.
Some Madonna's. It's like green M&Ms only, or else I'm fucking out of here. Especially because like I had like a very small time window, like 1 free hour while there's sunlight. This little 3-year-old who is trying to just kill me slowly.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
But I love her. She's cool. No, I love it. But let's get into Spider-Verse. What's your relationship to the movie? Is this something you're fans of? Because let me tell you, when your first event for your fan base, I'm finding out half of ours is never Spider-Verse. So bad marketing on our part, but happy because we love this movie so much.
I love it. I love Spider-Verse. My relationship to it is that I'm the Spider-Man of this universe, which is interesting.
Is
They
he
didn't
gonna
ask
die
me to be a
soon?
part of it.
Yeah. I'm the Gwen,
Oh, I see. There you go. That makes sense.
obviously.
But I'm
the J. Jonah Jameson of this universe.
that was good.
Oh,
I loved it. I expected it to be good when I went to go see it, but I remember being in the theater. Me and Brad saw it together, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like it blew my mind.
Oh,
yeah, we're big Lord and Miller guys, going all the way back to Clone High, and so we were excited, and it looked great, and we went to see it in theaters, and it it's stunning how much I enjoyed it.
Have you seen Clone High?
I didn't even know that they had anything to do with that until recently. I missed that. I know it was Comedy Central. I don't know why. I missed it.
I think it was MTV. I don't think it was Comedy
Central.
Was it
MTV? What year? Is this like in the Daria era?
I don't even know.
Early 2000s, I think.
I don't know how I missed it. I never saw it. It's coming back, so I'm really excited about that.
Dude, I'm looking, Chris. I'm looking through your photos on Facebook to find one of those pictures I'm talking about of you. Well, it's like you don't have any pictures. What the hell? You have 8 fucking pictures on here. What's going on, bud?
Oh, a few years ago, I had a bit bouts of the old post-traumatic stress disorder and deleted all social media and tried to quit my podcast. And then when I brought it up, I just didn't bother uploading everything. I was like, fuck it, I don't care.
Oh, I feel like
you can have my Google Photo Drive. There's a lot of pictures in there.
Yeah, let's
share those.
Google Photos.
You will be seeing a
check
lot
your password to Google Photos.
Yeah.
You know what? I've heard some stories. I don't think that would end well.
No, it's true.
No, that would be a good prank for somebody to do to somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is a movie, like I always say, is like if you're a fan of Spider-Man or if you like love superhero movies or you hate superhero movies, this movie is somehow still for you. Like it is for people who like hate cartoons and love cartoons. It is. There's just something about it. Like, so I work at a hospital. I work as a case manager in an outpatient program. Oh, we're waiting for Chris Ball to come on, and well, there he is.
Slacker.
What's up, Ball?
Ooh, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Balls? I don't know how I respond to that. And so I actually have a piece of art. I got a Comic-Con from this art, Nate Jones, of the Miles quote of "I can wear the mask," and like it really. I honestly I feel like that line in that movie is something I really connect to. Like I feel like with it, like in my job for the most part it's pretty tame, but like I've had to more than once like talk someone off of a ledge, both metaphorically and literally. It happens. So like sometimes it can get a little down, and there's something about that movie. Like it's the movie I watch when I'm happy. It's the movie I watch when I'm sad. It's like when the pandemic happened, and I'm like I don't know if we're gonna make it through this. I need my strength, or I'm just like I just need to work. I mean, it's my every movie. I watch it. A lot.
Yes. Oh, it's great. I'm really impressed. Did you see the comments from the Sony head about the second one?
No, what did they say?
He said that the second one is so expansive and they've come up with so many new techniques for it that it's going to make the first one look quaint in comparison.
Oh my gosh!
Oh
man.
Gosh. I know. That's so smart. Everybody all I mean, one of the things that really, I saw this movie in theaters, not like most people, not really knowing what to expect. I was just went because I just wanted to go to the movies, and I really liked the beginning of it. But it wasn't until they played Biggie's Hypnotized where I just like literally the hair in my arms, in my neck, my whole body just went up, and I was so entrapped the second I heard that. I was like, they're doing something different because so many superhero movies are based in New York, but like it's always a bunch of white people until Homecoming, essentially.
Yeah.
Like it actually looks like New York. Like it's incredible.
Right. So pretty.
I was just on a podcast promoting last night, and we did like 20 minutes about how this movie is secretly a love letter to hip hop. And it really is. Biggie being in Brooklyn, plus the movie taking place in Brooklyn. You have that scene where he's making the Great Expectations, and they kind of do like the mashup. It's like starting with the Apache, which is the second drum, the funky drummer, which is like the origins of all hip hop music, which I think starts in Brooklyn or the Bronx. I forgot which one, but then that whole movie is just insane. Now, are you old men like me and didn't know who Post Malone was until you saw this movie? Because that was my
knew
my
he
intro. So I did not. I was like, the Sunflower Song's cool. I should look it up.
I don't really know Post Malone, but I knew of him. I don't really know any of his songs though.
Right.
Mm-mm.
I know he was the voice of a bystander in the movie.
Yes, yes.
Was he now?
I saw that.
Can you see this?
But if you were like, oh, which bystander was he? I'm like,
Yeah, follow through.
He's a weird
unless
looking-
his character was like, hello, I'm Post Malone and I'm standing by, I'm not going to recognize it.
You know, oh my gosh, what is? You know what? I just totally forgot. You know, what? Just ignore me. Go on. Oh my god.
We found
Frozen in Fear. That's the Frozen in Fear thing I was talking about.
Yeah, I forgot the director of like the Spider-Man in the.
I'm not going
Sam
to
Raimi.
down.
Anyway, oh look at that! That's beautiful. You got a little.
Was that
This
this
is my
year's
this is my
Comic-Con?
point about his expression on his face when he takes a happy picture.
Is
I was
that?
terrified. Like, where's the camera? Oh, look at that sick Bob. Was it this year? Was that this year? Oh, this is my Instagram. Oh, look, there's you guys. That's
Oh, look at that!
Chuck Beck's girlfriend, who was just
Yes.
here.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to show you. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, it's so great. I saw you guys at Comic-Con. That was this year, right?
Yes, that's right.
Or last?
Oh,
Yeah,
That was 2019. It was the last one.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know,
Yeah.
years don't mean anything
Right.
anymore.
Okay, Stan Lee. Okay,
Yeah.
he is
Oh.
apparently all the artists wanted to draw Stan Lee, so he's in the movie multiple times, not just that one time in the shop.
really?
He's in the train, and if you pause the movie when a train's going by, you could see Stan Lee in it.
Wow.
There we
That's
go.
cool.
That's my fact.
Yeah, I didn't know
really
this
fun.
until the other day, until Brie had told me that they start the movie off with the animation being fuzzy as a nod to like the old school comics, which that blew
Yeah.
my mind. I had no idea.
Yep.
And then the other fact I just told this to Brie recently. I just learned this maybe a few months ago that Jeff isn't Miles' actual father. He's the I'm sorry. Let me reframe that. That was the wrong wording. Miles isn't Jeff's biological father. He's a stepfather, and they don't ever say
Yeah.
it in the movie.
Yeah.
But then,
Right.
as watching it, like especially like a parent, that movie took on like 20. That whole movie is just about dad, like Jeff's a
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah,
And
it's
if you
so
become a
sweet.
parent, it fucks with you even harder. Like that scene with Uncle Aaron and you know, I see the spark in you, Miles. You know that.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'll say
goodness.
I watched it this afternoon because I'm like, oh, I'll just have it on in the background and I'll read while it's on. Like, I remember it enough. And like, you know, I watched the whole thing, of course. I set my book down almost immediately. And, you know, I joked earlier about Chuck and I talking about how often we cry, but I totally cried during this movie.
Oh
And,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Is it at that part with I see the spark in you, Miles, or was
it was when Aaron got shot. And then
Yeah.
it's also at the end. And then that might have been it. But like, you know, emotions are running closer to the surface. It's a
Oh yeah.
pandemic. Everybody cry. It's fine.
You're making excuses now.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
it was like I couldn't believe how much I got sucked back into the animation and the story and just I guess the whole thing.
and my wife has pointed this out. She's like, it's just a good movie to listen to because like there's not a whole lot of dialogue when like you really pay attention. It's just there's score, the soundtrack. There's just always so much, just so much auditorially going on as much as there is like visually. Like this is I've never done like hallucinogenics, but I would like to and watch Spider-Verse. I don't know how that would end.
I don't know.
Probably
I mean,
well.
presumably with
Record
you
that then.
swinging through New York City.
Yeah, I mean that would be
Yeah.
the dream. And then it's also so cool. Like I don't think you're gonna see like the new Spider-Man game coming out with Miles as the main character if there wasn't the Spider-Verse movie. You know, like I feel.
Oh
like
yeah,
this
there
movie-
is. They already confirmed it. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make a bunch.
Right,
of
but
stuff.
if not for this movie,
Yeah.
would they have done that expansion?
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Like it didn't even
No, yeah,
feel like
fair
it was like trying to like catch the culture of within the moment. I feel like Miles has just become that much of a character, and like I learned this from listening to Fat Man Beyond. Mark Martin was like kind of the guy who lit the spark that lit the match that led to Miles because he was the one who like started I think he wrote an article about why Spider-Man has to be white, and that led to and then creating the universe, creating Miles, which was the same that during the whole time with Donald Glover. I'm a huge Community fan when he was rumored to be Spider-Man, and then that's like the first time a lot of people like me are like, oh, there's a lot of racism on the internet. Well, this will go away shortly.
That was not the first time I learned it. That was not the first time I learned about racism on the internet in 2012.
I might have my ears off. But
I picked
but
it
it
up
was
a little
just
bit before then.
before that, and then that was like that whole. Which did you ever notice the Donald Glover nod to it in Spider-Verse when he's entering Uncle Aaron's apartment on the TV? It's Donald Glover Community getting out in the Spider-Man costume. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
Oh
it's awesome.
Oh.
And so when you've done like live shows of like you do like your retelling, how do you explain that? Because I don't want to screw it up because your show.
The way I'd explain it is basically that Brad is like a terrible artist, like stomach-turningly bad.
Really bad.
So we'll take a classic movie that everybody knows, like Jurassic Park or the original Spider-Man or Avengers or Star Wars, and Brad will redraw every scene of the movie. And then I'll take those scenes and what he drew, and I'll write a new narration of the movie based on what those scenes look like to me, and we'll get up in front of an audience, and he has to read my narration with his drawings on a big screen.
Oh my gosh, that's genius.
Yeah, thank you very
so
much.
fun.
So how
it's
would
really,
you do
really
that for
fun.
Spider-Verse? It's like if if it's digital or if you do live shows again, like is this a movie that you can make this work with? Because I think the fact that the animation being so beautiful and yours being so bad could lead to some hilarity.
It's tough because like we have to do movies that everybody knows really well. So far we've really only done classic movies, like movies that have been out for like decades and decades. And also it's hard with Spider-Verse too because there's so many visual nods. It's almost like Brad wouldn't be able to really incorporate that kind of stuff, right, Brad? What do you think?
No, absolutely not. We did the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man, 2001 Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And, you hit all the origin story beats there. I don't know that Into the Spider-Verse would be the best option for us.
Yeah. You don't know that it would?
I don't know that it would. I'm thinking if it would be the best option. You know what? No, not the best option for us.
What about
I hate when Brad says that. I hate when Brad says things like, oh, I don't know that blah, blah, blah. Just say you don't think it's going to be good.
I don't know that I like mayonnaise on my sandwich. I actually do know that I don't like mayonnaise on my sandwich.
Exactly.
But I want to couch it as softly as possible.
Yes.
Couch it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why does that bother you? Is this just where you've been friends for so long it's fun to pick on each other? Or is there
because I truly think that it's confusing to people. I truly believe that when he says stuff like that, people take his words at face value. Where he's like, or if he says to you, I don't know that that'd be a good movie to do. In your head, you're like, oh, Brad's not sure if that's a good movie to do. And in Brad's head, he's like, yeah, I told him I don't want to do it. So I think that there's a big disconnect. What do you think, Brad?
He's just letting you down softly.
Perhaps. What do you say, Brad, to that?
I don't know that I agree with you.
Oh, so nice.
In other words, he might agree with me. He might agree with me. Who knows?
This is why,
Who knows?
this is why it was a great
Anyone's guess. That's funny. I want to see if I can find a picture of Brad's artwork to show you guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
please
I
do.
on my computer. I don't have
Is
any
it
on this
stick
laptop.
figures? I'm so
I have
excited.
some. I got it.
I wish I was allowed to do stick figures.
No stick figures. Let's see. You ready?
Uh,
I'll try to find a classic one. There's a bunch of
great.
really good ones.
So, Miles, who are
let's
your who are your favorite spider people outside of Miles?
What do you got, Brad?
I mean,
I'm waiting for it.
I know it's tough because I always want to go to Gwen, but then there's something about Spider Pig that I just love so much.
yeah, I think Spider Ham
Spider-Ham, yeah.
did exactly what the character was supposed to do and provide those like moments of levity. And then the story of Mulaney just like cursing his way through it. And then, after he's done, he's like, what's this rated, by the way? And they're like, that's PG.
Yeah, I read that. It was supposed to be a lot of cursing at first. And they took a lot out.
Yeah, I think Spider Ham for me, I because you don't see anything like that. It was so different than the other characters, and really just there as comic relief, and it felt needed.
For me, I think the balance of all the characters is kind of what I like the most.
Yeah.
I got a picture from Brad though. I got a picture that he drew.
Oh, that's it.
Yay!
Sure.
All right, let's see. Share screen. Okay. Okay. Application window. Here we go. You ready?
I'm so excited.
All right.
Don't
Let's
be.
see.
Lower
Can we
those
guess
expectations.
what it is?
Microdose.
Oh, you'll find out. You'll be able to tell.
Do I have to click something? Yes,
No,
I do.
yeah, you're good. Ready? So that's Brad. He drew the Grinch,
Aw,
the Grinch and Max from How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh yeah.
You can
Man,
tell their
it's so
emotions if it's
detailed. Look at that.
So detailed. Is that
The
what you said?
trees, and you can tell that that's a duck.
I could totally
Dog.
do it. I could do
Dog.
it.
I can tell that's a duck.
Is
Beautiful.
that Santa's little helper from The Simpsons?
Santa's got a belly.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, here's some more.
Oh,
See.
he's so angry, Cyclops. Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like
Cyclops.
Profile. He's not a Cyclops.
I would love to.
Oh, he's not. There's
He's
a new
cutting up the
age
curtains to make his costume, and then he's tying the antler to Max's head.
Yes, as of
Well, it
course.
looks like he's trying to.
What
He
if
doesn't have
Brad's
hands
like
though.
so good at art? This is like high concept art.
Whoa, look
All
at
right.
the duck.
I don't know if you need to see
I
this
take it
one.
all back. It's over.
Oh my God. Angry duck Cyclops. That's a big dog.
His heart's very small.
Oh my god,
That's his
this is
house.
incredible.
What the hell is that?
That's
Is
his
that-
house.
Looks
that's
like
his
a
house.
Hey,
Oh.
go back, dick. It looked like a dick.
Yep.
You're worse than me.
See there, penis?
Oh, there,
No, it's
yeah,
like
there's lots of little
it's either a
penises
candy
there.
corn,
Look at
a
that.
cat nipple, or a penis. It's one of those.
You guys are sick. Got
Brad
penises
should
on
do
the
some
brain.
Rorschach tests.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
Brad should do
Oh.
some doing the drugs.
oh.
Those are the original scans. We're back too far. That's okay. Let me get. I'll get
Was that a
rid of it.
butt?
That was
This is
so-
these are the original scans.
Sorry,
Sorry.
yeah, they're upside down.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Thank you for sharing that.
Man.
Oh, Brad, I have
Oh
to say,
yeah.
I've been
Thank
enjoying
you.
your Braditudes on Instagram because I'll
Thank
end
you.
up seeing them usually like right before I go to bed when I'm breaking all my no social media before bed rules because I want to
Yep.
sleep at night. And sometimes,
Yeah, I just
Those give you nightmares.
well, if I go on
I'm just
Twitter
kidding,
before
Brad.
bed, it's not
Beautiful.
good.
things are rough, and I want to focus on some positive things before I go to bed. And so I just started doing it kind of to get me through the month of August, which is traditionally pretty hellish in the world of student affairs and student housing. And we'll see if I keep doing it past move-in. But I have my notebook of things I'm grateful for. Write down 3 things a day. It's just a good
Aw.
practice for my mental health.
Well, it would have
And
been stupid if it would have been bad if it was what you were grateful for. If it was like your gratitude, that's lame. These are Braditudes, so they're cool.
Right. It's all part of branding. It's
Brad.
dumb stuff. I make my chili and we call it Bland Bradley's boring chili.
Tell them about the other
Yeah.
stuff you make.
I make cereal treats like Rice Krispie treats, but with any other cereal. They're called Brad bars.
Tell them about the pulled pork.
Protein bars.
We have Beefy Brad's Pull My Beef sandwiches,
Oh my God.
Oinky Brad's Pork My Bun sandwiches, and Cowardly Brad's Choke My Chicken sandwiches.
Rats choke my.
And those are all the same thing. They're all like meat in a crock pot, separated with a fork or a mixer or whatever, put on a bun. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Just named by clever friends,
Yeah.
and I am running with it.
I
Is
love
it safe-
Oinky bread.
I know.
Is it safe to say you're not an adventurous eater?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
Chuck,
see.
Chuck has more than enough adventure for both of us eating
It's
wise.
true. Yeah, he's not. It's true.
It's funny because I know Chuck, you're like a food writer as well, like right
Yes.
as well as one of
Oh
the
my
many
gosh.
you wear.
Yes,
so
I write for Providence Monthly, the Bay Magazine, and Motif Magazine.
I just had one of your bosses on, Elise.
Yes.
She's the sweetest person in the world.
I love Elise. That was a great interview. I listened to it.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to tell you something funny
dropped your
about
name, I
your
believe.
what
I think we dropped your name at some point in the
you
interview.
did. You did. I wanted to tell you. There's another guy named Tony Pacini who does the What Did We Miss podcast.
Oh, I love those cats.
And in your intro, you said his name was Tony Paschetti. Not
Oh.
kidding at all. That's what you said.
I have.
I'm not even kidding. Paschetti.
I recorded with him in the studio, and I'm pretty sure I've said that to his face.
It's
He doesn't
not
correct
even
you.
it's not a last name. It's what an insolent child calls pasta.
Or an adult, apparently.
And like I had just done What Did We Miss with Matt. Tony, had kids. He had twins, so he's a little tied up right now. I
Yes.
must have said it to both of them multiple times. So
Yeah,
I'm so
Tony
so-
Pischetti.
Oh, I'm never gonna unhear it now. You know,
You want me to tell you one more thing too? I would never tell you this usually, but you've said it so many times that I got to tell you. The article by Oren that wrote about us.
Yeah,
that was in Rhode Island Monthly, not Providence Monthly.
Are they
Chris, you're fired.
Well, I feel bad because you were saying it to Elise, and it's not.
That's it. You got demoted.
You're like, Tony Pischetti works at East Coast Monthly.
I think you might be a little wrong though, because it did run. It ran on the their online.
It was Rhode Island Monthly.
I maybe you're right. I'm sure you can just pull it up. But that's funny.
I will. I felt bad because you're saying it to her, and I could tell that she didn't know you're talking about.
Did she work there then? I'll have to ask her about that.
Never. She never worked there.
Sweet. I always thought those two companies got together.
I know you said it to me so many times, and I've corrected you, but it just doesn't stick.
Like Pischetti.
I'm not following this.
Tony Pischetti.
So Providence Media doesn't own Rhode Island Monthly.
What is it?
So Providence Media doesn't own Rhode Island Monthly?
No, it's Providence Monthly.
They should really look into some branding then.
Well, it's just they both have the word monthly in the title.
Yeah.
That's the only thing in common.
That's the only thing we have in common.
Bree, this is why I had to come on. This is why we need
to apologize for you. Is that?
Yes. to keep it in order.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
wow. So that's cool. Oh, look at that, proving you wrong. Yeah.
Wait, am I on this one?
No, you're not. Oh,
yeah, that's you're talking. I'm not referring to that article that you're talking about.
It's probably the Providence Monthly you're thinking.
Oren worked for both.
Yeah, so there's two. One ran print, one ran online. The one I was in was like 5. Actually, I never saw this one. Thanks, Oren. No, it was like 5 podcasts that aren't Crime Town.
Am I in that one?
Yeah, well, yeah, you guys. Well, I hope so. I don't know. Am I the person to ask about that right now? Like the right person?
Well, you said it to her. You said that's how we met.
Yeah,
that's how you found out about
us. I learned about your podcast through.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. There you go.
Through I thought because it was us, that Newport show. That's how I met them too.
Wow, I gotta look it up because it's funny because since I write at Providence Monthly.
Wait, does that mean I'm right then?
If it exists, pull it up. I just pulled up mine. You pull up yours.
If it exists.
I never met Oren. I was supposed to meet up with him at some point. I never met him. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, we had coffee together. I think he was like about to have a child, so then his free time went away.
I always thought of him as the enemy. I gotta be honest, because I work at Providence Monthly and he works at Rhode Island Monthly. And I didn't think of him as a real enemy, just a fun enemy.
Frenemy, funner, an enemy.
I'm still bad at finding all this. I don't know if you guys have probably had. I can't find it right now until.
That's all right.
I'll figure it out later. Yeah, if you ever have, I've been fortunate a few times to get press, but like whenever it does happen, the few times it's happened, like the same article will run in like multiple publications. So like I just like what's it? Rob Dugray, was kind enough to do like a write up, but it ran in like what we think
Rob Dugay.
Did I call him? Yeah, I don't know his last name.
Dugray, you always say.
What pasta is he named after?
Also, what's my last name?
See, I listen to your shows. It's Chuck Stanton. You got the hard A, right?
It's Staten.
Staten? You sure got that?
It's Staten. I was listening to the Elise interview and I was like, is he doing a bit where he's just trying to get everyone's name wrong like Michael Scott? Like
if it makes you feel better for Brad, I don't want to screw yours up, so I'm just roar like a dinosaur.
No, that's right. That's great. Roar is right. That's 100% correct.
The line would make it the line. We're slightly German.
You got it.
Wow.
Great.
Oh my God! What other imperfections can we pull out for the night? I haven't seen my therapist in a while. He's probably like, "Why is he? Let's get him to come back a little."
That's so funny.
After he sees this, like, hey man, we need another meeting.
Too funny.
Speaking of press, oddly enough, I was doing cleaning this weekend and I found our Providence Sunday paper article, a snark-free day
nice.
of culture.
Ooh,
Was that in
And it happened to be next to my computer, so
Was that Projo?
Yes, that was before a Christmas show that we did.
Oh,
I don't know if I went to that one. No.
that's the
Rhode Island
one
Monthly.
Chris was in, right?
It's Rhode
That's what
Island
I-
Monthly.
Bray, I should have just checked our website that you made, right?
Yeah.
You
I
see
was
it?
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was in May.
That was Rhode Island Monthly.
Oh, that's funny. Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
that was
Look
the
at this.
one.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Old logo.
Yeah, old logo. Things have changed.
Yeah, see, I didn't think Oren ever wrote for Providence Monthly. He only wrote for Rhode Island Monthly.
Oh, take that, Oren.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, I'm just.
That's the
funny.
photo you gave?
I don't know where they got that photo from. It's,
I remember-
now that I work behind the scenes of all this media stuff, I realize that there's a lot of times where, it'd be easy to reach out for stuff like that, but instead they just kind of pick whatever's easy in a lot of
Yeah, I've had
And
that.
Google and stuff.
I've gotten better at I've learning that part of it too. It's like send everything you want them to have in one email and never expect a response back. To make sure for people. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
It's
well,
tough.
so
Gina, my girlfriend, writes too, and her last name is Mastro Stefano, MaStrostefano, and so the amount of times that's been spelled right is going to be like, 2 out of 5. Mastro
you say-
Stefano.
We should do a whole game with
Mastro
you trying to get her name correctly. And I'm Italian, which is why it's hilarious.
It's easy if you just break it up into Mastro Stefano. It's just really that's easy.
Ooh.
But when you put all the letters together, it's tough.
I didn't know how to
you know.
say my wife's last name for the first month we were dating.
How do you say that name?
It's Pasinich.
Really? Like
Spinach.
spinach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
It's
love
like
food
spinach,
tonight.
but the way you say Tony Pacitti's last name also.
Maybe that's where I got because it's Croatian. Her last name's Croatian, but I remember I think it was like her grandmother's funeral. I was like secretly trying to get people to say it so I could understand Pasinich.
I wish you had to do her grandmother's eulogy with the way that you say last name.
I never had that.
You're like-
That was hilarious.
You're like, I'm so sad for
Chips.
Mrs. Spinacoli.
Listen, if we could find a way to have me show up at someone's funeral and do the eulogy that I've never met and screw up the last name for comedy purposes for your stuff, I will gladly volunteer for that.
Didn't we? Why do I think we did a eulogy thing, Brad? Did we ever do a eulogy joke? No, like a eulogy.
I mean,
bit?
I had the tribute to my grandfather during
Oh,
the
yes.
trick-or-treating.
Oh, what was that
Did
for?
your grandfather
It was a
actually-
Halloween show.
Oh yeah,
Halloween show. We said we wanted to.
Let's tell this. Let's tell this.
All right, it was a live show at the Comedy Connection.
We were
wanted
doing our
to,
Halloween show.
Yeah, we wanted to bring back the magic of Halloween and let the audience trick or treat. So we had a battery-powered doorbell with the thing on stage, and we said we're going to do that. We'll give the doorbell to the crowd, and I'll start reading this emotional essay about my grandfather.
Hold
about how
on,
fall makes me think of him.
hold on 1 second. You're just skipping over a little bit.
Yep.
It's a
it.
wireless battery-powered
Yes.
doorbell.
Right.
So you could pass it around and you could give it to anybody, and they could ding it just with the doorbell by itself. So we said, as at the beginning of our comedy show, we want to bring back trick-or-treating, like Brad said. We had some candy on stage. Just pass this around. If anyone in the crowd wants to ding the doorbell, we'll throw you a piece of candy from the stage. Right?
And so I start on this essay, like Autumn always reminds me of my grandfather. He always encouraged me to believe in myself, and the doorbell rings. And so, we're like, oh, we'll pass out candy. And it, as it keeps getting more and more emotional, the doorbell keeps going off at like suspiciously opportune times. And I'm getting more and more frustrated. I spike the candy, I kick it to the audience, and then I storm off stage.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
and then I reach into my pocket and I had a second doorbell that I was doing
No.
it through the entire time. And it was pretty great.
Oh my
It was pretty great. It was really funny.
You
I was
talk
really
about
proud
like
of
the
that.
vaudeville, like that straight out of vaudeville. If they had wireless
Exactly.
doorbell technology 100 years ago.
Exactly. We did a bit that I honestly think it might be the best stage bit we ever wrote for our last, I guess it was our Halloween show.
Reb and Jan gets it.
The idea was
That's
nice.
He
Nice.
gets it.
Our
Good
bit
guy.
at the last Halloween show was we came out on stage, we had a Ouija board, and we had a camera set up above the stage that showed the Ouija board on a screen above the stage. And we started playing the Ouija board, and you could see it on the screen. And the idea was that I was like, listen, like, we know the Ouija board doesn't work. It's all just like joking, whatever. And when we did it, what we actually had was the Ouija board was a pre-taped video on the screen. So when we went to go do it, you would see ghost hands come onto our hands and control our hands as we played the Ouija board. But we couldn't see it. We couldn't see it on the stage. It was only on the screen.
Yeah, we refused to look at
I don't want to ruin the bit, but it progressed, and it was that's like I think that's one of our best bits.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's fun.
It was fun.
Worked out surprisingly well.
It did.
And
That was tough because we had to get the timing down.
Yep.
It's funny that you guys think of these ideas and then like do them, and the amount of time and money and energy that goes into it. I think it's wonderful that you actually do it, because I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Like most people, like that's a good idea, and it just kind of stops there. But like,
yeah, I know
it's so hard.
That's why
tough.
I'm here.
It is
Kick
tough,
your ass into gear.
Yeah, it's tough, especially when we're going to do like a whole Halloween show, and we have to like say, what are we going to do for our segments? Because we have to fill up a 90-minute show, and I'd say between 45 and 55 minutes is going to be us, and then the rest is going to be stand-up comics. But it is a lot. Like we did our own stage. We did our own stage version of the movie Halloween to close our Halloween show last time as a play, and it was all like comedy. It was a comedy version of Halloween with Ray Harrington, that comedian, on stage playing Michael Myers, and he didn't know that he was going to be doing that until he got on stage.
Yep.
We told him, and we handed him a script, and we did it live. And like writing that was fucking real tough, really tough, but it worked out really well.
From like knowing you guys a little, there's something about you guys that there's like that little bit of you seem to like kind of like those oh shit moments, which Brad, I know you like say you don't like, but I still think there's a part of you that likes it a little bit. And like Chuck, that's kind of your MO, like to stir the pot a little, and maybe too far just a little bit once in a while. I'm referring to a story you told on our episode, but I won't do that to Brad today.
Thank you.
I think, and Brad, you tell me if this is true. The idea of putting a performer in a space where they have to perform all of a sudden, and they're put a lot of pressure on them. I think Brad does like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the idea of pranking someone. Like,
I do not.
Like Brad walks on stage and I cover him in pig's blood. He doesn't like that. But pulling Ray on stage and saying, you're going to play Michael Myers in a play of Halloween right now, I think he does like that.
Well, it's like,
right. And,
it's fun.
It wasn't like he had to memorize lines. He's not being judged on the quality of his performance, which, by the way, was good. Right. He needs to react to our lunacy.
Yes, right.
Yeah. And the audience is on his side because they know that we're putting him in this spot. So it's not like they're going to say, you know what, he wasn't a convincing sociopath.
Yeah.
Because first of all, Ray Harrington is a convincing sociopath.
Yeah, sure is. Sure is. Yeah. No, it's funny. It's a fun thing.
I just long for the day when we can do those shows at the Paramount Theater of Charlottesville.
East Coast tour.
You can donate at the Paramount.net.
Nice.
I like
the theater.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I like you guys like those like the oh shit moments. It's like like people with gambling addiction. It generally the thing that people get addicted to with gambling is that second where like, did I win or lose? That's that thrill, and oh shit, right. Or like to quote Peter B, he goes, there's always a few seconds before everything ends. That's where I do my best work.
Yeah. That's so great.
Oh, well, I agree. Start as we wrap it up. Do you have any future plans or what more plugs for you two for the Chuck and Brad podcast and all of your work and the magazines that you haven't written about me in because I apparently was wrong.
So the Chuck and Brad podcast comes out every Thursday. You can go to chuckandbradpodcast.com, and we're on iTunes and Stitcher and whatever. We're on all the podcast apps. Right now we're doing a mini series where it's all the people from the show Comic Book Men. I think this week is going to be a regular episode, and then we'll go back to the mini series next week. But recently we have 2 of those episodes up. But every Thursday a new episode of the Chuck and Brad podcast comes out, come hell or high water. And then also, undependentshow.com is where to find the show Undependent that I did with Ray Harrington. My main job is doing film work for the podcast Tell 'em Steve Dave. All of that is available at patreon.com/tellhimsteve-dave. And then Yeah, I haven't written that much recently for the Bay or Providence Monthly or Motif, but I have 2 articles coming out soon with those magazines. So you'll see them come up at some point if you follow Motif or the Bay.
For the Rhode Island Monthly?
Rhode Island Monthly? Yeah, me and Oren are going to team up and cross over.
You and Oren do a whole story about Brie in the Paramount Theater in Charlotte.
I'm going to do an oral history of every time you mispronounced or misremembered something.
I would love that.
Big book.
Chuck, this article's too long. Give me pictures of Spider-Man.
It's an encyclopedia.
Wonderful. And
yeah, and so that's pretty much all my stuff.
Brad
Rohrer. Wait,
Yes,
am I on the bottom of everyone's picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right now, you're just below me. Ow!
Yeah.
My heart. You can follow us on social media at the Chuck and Brad podcast. We're on Facebook. You can check out Chuck on Twitter and Instagram at Discount Chuck. You can find me at Brad Rohrer. That's BradRohrer.
Yeah.
We're keeping busy as best we can.
Yeah, that's pretty much true.
Thank you, Brie. Where can people find?
Bripo, BRIP0E on Twitter, and Benjamin Types on Instagram. Just do some work for people.
Thanks everyone for coming out. You can check us out on all the things. Let's Chat Podcast, Let's Chat Podcast.net, a website built wonderfully by Brie. We just launched a Patreon yesterday. We haven't really announced it yet. Wow. Patreon.com/Let's Chat Pod. Again, Brie did that as well. And we have our event this August 29th. We're going to be doing a Let's Chat birthday bash. It's an interactive watch party of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We came up with our fine folks at See Live. It's going to be really fun. There'll be a chat box. There's going to be myself, all the producers. We're going to be talking through the movie, and we'll be able to bring people onto the stage. We should talk afterwards. I got to tell you guys about this thing. I think there's a lot of uses for Chuck and Brad get out of it too. Awesome.
Nice.
Everyone, have a good rest of your night. We'll just log off and go live our lives. Have a good night.
Go live our lives.
Thank you so much.
See you later.